If you're over 65, you already know that sleep isn't what it used to be. Falling asleep can take forever. Staying asleep feels impossible, and waking up still tired has become the new normal. Yet everywhere you look, experts warn that sleep is the secret to living longer, keeping your memory sharp, and protecting your heart. So you ask yourself the big question: exactly how many hours of sleep do I really need at my age? Ask 10 different people and you'll get 10 different answers. Some swear by 5 hours and a strong cup of coffee. Others insist 8 hours is non-negotiable. Meanwhile, you're left staring at the clock at 3 a.m., wondering if you're shaving days or years off your life each time you miss the so-called magic number. That confusion ends today, because in this series, we're digging into the newest science on senior sleep, longevity, and healthy aging. No myths, no marketing, just clear answers you can actually use tonight. So let's begin where every good sleep story starts. Your changing body after 65, when you were 30. Sleep felt practically automatic. You'd hit the pillow, drift off, and stay there until morning. But aging brings 3 unavoidable shifts. First, your body's master clock, the circadian rhythm, starts drifting earlier. That's why many seniors feel sleepy at 9 p.m. and wide awake at 5 a.m. You produce less melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's dark and time to wind down. And third, the deep restorative stages of sleep, the ones that repair cells and lock in memories, get shorter. Put those together, and 8 hours in bed might yield only 5 or 6 hours of fragmented rest. It's not your imagination. It's biology. Now, here's where things get interesting. A landmark study from the journal Sleep Health tracked over 11,000 adults aged 65 and older. Researchers found a sweet spot range where mortality risk was lowest, cognitive function was highest, and heart health markers looked best. Was it 8 hours? 7? Maybe 9? Hold that thought, because before we reveal the number, you need to understand quality versus quantity. Imagine 2 seniors, both in bed for 7 hours. Betty sleeps deeply, barely stirs, wakes up refreshed. George wakes 3 times to use the bathroom, checks the clock, worries about his bills. Finally dozes off again. Same 7 hours on paper. Totally different results for the brain, heart, and immune system. So any conversation about how many hours only matters if those hours are truly restorative. That's why scientists now focus on 3 pillars: total sleep time, sleep efficiency, the percent of time in bed. You're actually a sleep architecture. How much deep and REM sleep you clock each night stick around. Because later in this series, we'll show you simple tweaks that boost each pillar, without pills or complicated gadgets. But let's get back to that magic range. Across dozens of studies on seniors, the low-risk zone keeps showing up in the same place, between 6.5 and 8 hours of actual sleep within a 24-hour cycle, less than 6 hours consistently. Risks for hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and memory decline shoot up. More than 9 hours nightly. Surprisingly, risks climb again, often signaling fragmented, low-quality sleep or underlying illness. So if you're currently averaging 5 hours, you're likely shortchanging your body. And if you're regularly in bed 11 hours just to feel human, the issue may be poor sleep efficiency, untreated pain, or even sleep apnea. Now, before you panic, remember, one bad night won't shave years off your life. What matters is the pattern. Think of sleep like compound interest. A small deficit or surplus, repeated night after night, adds up to big outcomes over decades. Here's a real-life story that drives it home. Meet Harold, age 71. Retired electrician. He prided himself on being tough. I only need 5 hours, he'd say. But over time, Harold's blood pressure crept up, his memory slipped, and he felt constantly irritable. His doctor suggested tracking sleep with a simple, wearable watch. Turned out Harold was in bed 6 hours, but actually slept about 4 hours and 50 minutes a night. The fix wasn't sleeping pills. It was adjusting habits. He dimmed lights after dinner, cut caffeine after noon, and started light stretching before bed. Within 3 weeks, Harold averaged 6 hours and 40 minutes of solid sleep. His morning blood pressure fell, and his wife joked. He finally stopped snapping at the toaster. Harold's story reminds us, small changes matter, and the payoff can be felt fast. Now, let's talk about naps. Many seniors worry that an afternoon snooze will steal nighttime sleep. But the newest data shows a short nap under 30 minutes can actually improve memory and reduce stress, without hurting nighttime rest as long as it's before 3 p.m. So yes, strategic nap counts toward your daily total. What about waking up at night to use the bathroom? Completely normal, in fact. Over 60% of seniors wake up at least once. The key is how quickly you fall back asleep. Light that triggers your phone screen, or walking into a fully lit bathroom can jolt your brain into daytime mode. A dim nightlight and motion-sensing bathroom LEDs can cut that wake time in half. Before we wrap part 1, here's your first actionable step. Tonight, jot down what time you get into bed roughly, how long it takes to fall asleep, number of awakenings, the time you finally get up in the morning dew. This for 1 week. Add up total hours actually asleep. If you're under 6.5 or over 8 consistently, you've got priceless data to guide the tweaks we'll cover next. Because in part 2, we'll dive into the 5 sleep saboteurs most seniors never notice, including one hiding in your kitchen right now, and the science backed fixes that can add up to 40 minutes of extra deep sleep by next month. So hit that subscribe button, set your reminder, and share this with a fellow night owl who keeps saying, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." Turns out, the right amount of sleep might just help you postpone that date. See you in part 2. Rest well tonight. If you watched part 1, you now know the golden range for senior sleep between 6.5 and 8 hours a night consistently. But what if you're nowhere close to that? You're going to bed early, doing your best, and still waking up exhausted. Why? In this part, we're pulling back the curtain on the 5 biggest sleep saboteurs that quietly rob seniors of rest, often without them even realizing it. These aren't dramatic causes like insomnia or sleep apnea, though those matter. 2. These are daily, overlooked habits and environmental cues that chip away at sleep quality night after night. Let's begin with saboteur number 1, caffeine timing. Now, everyone knows caffeine is a stimulant. But did you know that even if you drink coffee at 2 p.m., up to 25% of that caffeine may still be in your system at 10 p.m.? That's because our livers slow down as we age, and it takes longer to process caffeine. You might say, "But I fall asleep just fine after coffee." That may be true, but what you don't feel is the suppression of deep sleep stages. Caffeine can cause you're technically asleep. Yes, but not in the rejuvenating brainwave states that restore your memory, balance hormones, and fight inflammation. So here's the fix. Make noon your caffeine cutoff. That includes not just coffee, but green tea, dark chocolate, and even some pain medications like Excedrin. On to saboteur number 2, the silent light leak. Melatonin, your brain's sleep hormone, is like a vampire. It only comes out in the dark. But in modern homes, true darkness is rare. TV standby lights, street lights peeking through curtains, alarm clock displays, all of these send tiny signals to your brain that it's not fully night. And for seniors whose melatonin production is already declining, that matters even more. A Harvard study showed that even a dim light of just 8 lux, about the brightness of a nightlight, can reduce melatonin by up to 50%. That's like trying to fill a glass of water with the tap half off. so the fix is simple. Darken your sleep cave. Install blackout curtains. Use motion-activated bathroom lights instead of overhead ones. And get this, even a $10 sleep mask can dramatically boost melatonin output if worn consistently. Next up, saboteur number 3, the 3 a.m. blood sugar dip. This one surprises people. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, heart pounding, maybe even a little sweaty, with no idea why? That might not be anxiety, it could be a blood sugar crash. Here's what happens. You eat dinner at 6. Maybe a small dessert. By 3 a.m., your body's been fasting nearly 9 hours. If you had a meal heavy in refined carbs or sugar, your insulin levels spiked earlier, and now they've crashed. The result? Your body releases cortisol and adrenaline to compensate. And boom, you're wide awake. The solution: a small, balanced bedtime snack. Try a spoonful of almond butter with half a banana or a slice of turkey on a whole grain cracker. The goal is protein plus a complex carb, something that provides slow, steady fuel without spiking insulin. Now, let's talk about saboteur number 4, the worry window. This is a big one. Seniors often report that they're calm all day until their head hits the pillow. Suddenly, their mind races. Bills, health worries, family issues. It's like the brain saves its most stressful monologue for the exact moment you're trying to sleep. Why? Because bedtime is the first time all day your brain is free from distractions. No TV, no calls, no errands. Just you and your thoughts. Here's a powerful solution. Backed by sleep therapists, schedule a worry window minus 15 minutes. Earlier in the evening, to write everything on your mind, use a notepad. Dump every concern, big or small, onto paper then. Right next to each one, can I solve this tonight? Is there a small step I can take tomorrow? Once you've externalized your thoughts, your brain doesn't feel the need to rehearse them in bed. It sounds silly, but studies show this simple habit can reduce sleep onset anxiety by up to 35%. Finally, we come to saboteur number 5, a missing sleep signal. In younger adults, sleep pressure builds all day, a natural drive to sleep. But after 65, that pressure builds more slowly. What helps increase it? Daily exposure to sunlight and physical activity. Here's the problem. Many seniors don't get outside enough, especially in colder months. And they're not moving as much. No sunlight. No movement equals no strong signal for the body to feel tired at night. But you don't need to train for a marathon. Just a 20-minute walk outdoors before noon, even on a cloudy day, can reset your body clock and promote earlier melatonin release. In fact, one study at the University of California found that seniors who took daily morning walks fell asleep 42 minutes faster and slept 33 minutes longer than those who didn't. That's a full extra sleep cycle. Every single night before we wrap up today's part, here's your sleep audit homework. Tonight and tomorrow, observe: what time was your last caffeine of the day? How much light was in your room overnight? Did you wake up suddenly between 2 and 4 a.m.? Did you eat a bedtime snack? How much sunlight and movement did you get during the day? These tiny factors might seem unrelated, but together, they control whether your night is restless or restorative. In Part 3, we're tackling a big one: medications. Many seniors take pills that, while helpful during the day, quietly sabotage sleep at night. We I'll reveal the top 5 medications that interfere with deep sleep and the alternatives doctors often forget to mention. Until then, remember this: good sleep isn't about chasing perfection. It's about stacking small wins, one better habit at a time. You've got this. You've heard the phrase, one bad apple spoils the bunch, right? Well, when it comes to sleep and longevity after 65, one wrong medication can sabotage an entire sleep. Nights rest night after night without you ever realizing it's the culprit. And that's exactly what we're diving into now. Because here's the truth. Many medications that seniors are prescribed, yes, even common ones, have powerful side effects that directly interfere with your brain's sleep cycles. And the worst part, most doctors don't even bring it up because they're focused on the symptom the medication is treating, not the sleep it's stealing. Let's talk about the top 5 sleep-interrupting meds that are keeping seniors wide-eyed at night. And what to ask your doctor about instead. First on the list, beta blockers. These are heart medications used to manage high blood pressure, arrhythmia, and sometimes even migraines. You might know names like atenolol, metoprolol, or bisoprolol. What most seniors don't know is that beta blockers reduce your body's production of melatonin. Yes, the very hormone responsible for making you sleepy at night without enough melatonin. Your body may not know it's time for rest, even if you're lying in bed, lights off, eyes closed. One clinical study showed that beta blockers could reduce nighttime melatonin levels by as much as 80% in older adults. That's like trying to fall asleep with your brain's internal nightlight still fully on. The fix? Talk to your doctor about melatonin-friendly alternatives, or ask whether a very low-dose melatonin supplement at night is safe with your prescription. Never adjust meds without guidance. Next up, corticosteroids, like prednisone. These are commonly prescribed for arthritis, inflammation, and even some skin and breathing conditions. They're incredibly effective, but they come with a big downside. Corticosteroids rev up your central nervous system, most like drinking espresso. And that stimulation doesn't just go away at bedtime, even if you fall asleep. It can shorten your deep sleep, reduce REM cycles, and cause frequent awakenings. If you've been feeling wired but tired and you're on a steroid, this might be why not the conversation to have with your doctor. Ask if you can take your steroid dose first thing in the morning. That allows the stimulant effect to wear off by bedtime. Now let's move on to something millions of older adults take. Antidepressants. Not all of them disturb sleep. In fact, some can improve it. But medications like fluoxetine, Prozac, or sertraline Zoloft can cause vivid dreams, restlessness, or even insomnia in some people, especially after 65, when the brain is more sensitive to chemical changes. Even if you feel emotionally stable on the medication, it could still be fragmenting your sleep behind the scenes. The key here isn't to stop them, but to check the timing and dosage. Sometimes, switching the time of day you take the antidepressant can make a huge difference. Now, brace yourself for the fourth one. Over-the-counter allergy medications like Benadryl. These are everywhere. And many seniors use them as sleep aids because they feel drowsy after taking them. But here's the shocking truth. They interfere with brainwave activity and reduce the quality of REM sleep, the dream state essential for memory, mood, and long-term brain health. Even more concerning, long-term use of anticholinergic drugs like Benadryl has been linked to an increased risk of dementia in seniors. So if you're relying on a PM pain reliever, allergy pills, or anything that makes you drowsy artificially, it's time to rethink. Your body is asking for real sleep, not sedation. And finally, we need to talk about diuretics, also called water pills. These include drugs like furosemide Lasix and hydrochlorothiazide, often used to manage blood pressure or fluid retention. Now, they're essential for many seniors, but they also increase urination. And if you're taking them late in the day, you're likely waking up multiple times per night to use the bathroom. This not only disrupts your sleep stages, it also increases your risk of nighttime falls, especially if you're drowsy and disoriented. What can you do? Ask your doctor if you can take your diuretic earlier in the morning, giving your body time to flush fluids before bedtime. And don't forget this, hydration matters too. Stopping all water after 6 p.m. isn't the answer. Being dehydrated can also disturb your sleep, causing dry mouth, muscle cramps, and a racing heart. So aim for balance, not extremes. Now, here's a powerful truth that's rarely shared. As we age, our body becomes more sensitive to everything we put in, including medications, caffeine, sugar, and even natural sleep aids. That's why it's so important to not just chase more sleep, but to create the right conditions for your body to want to sleep well. And that means asking the right questions. Could this medication be interfering with my sleep? Can I adjust the timing or try an alternative? Is this sleep aid helping or just masking a bigger problem? In many cases, doctors simply aren't trained to think about how meds impact sleep. That's not their fault. It's just not emphasized in most medical schools. But now that you know what to look for, you can be your own advocate. Remember, improving sleep isn't about making dramatic overnight changes. It's about removing the obstacles one by one. Maybe that means switching when you take a pill. Maybe it means dimming your room. Maybe it means skipping that 4 p.m. cup of tea. Every small win adds up. And over time, your sleep becomes deeper, longer, and more healing. In Part 4, the final chapter, we're diving into something very exciting: sleep-enhancing foods, routines, and rituals specifically designed for seniors. These are gentle, natural ways to coax your body into restful nights without relying on medication. We'll share bedtime snacks that boost melatonin naturally, calming rituals that train your brain to shut down, and one unusual habit backed by science that actually improves dream quality, so don't miss it. Sleep isn't a luxury tea, a life-saving ritual, and you, after 65, deserve the kind that helps you live longer, move better, and wake up ready for the day ahead. You're almost there. Let's take a moment. You've made it this far in the journey, learning what aging bodies truly need for sleep, the dangers of too little or too much, and how everyday medications might be secretly hijacking your nights. But now it's time for the part most seniors actually enjoy: the solution phase. And no, it's not another pill, supplement, or gimmicky sleep device. We're talking about natural, science-backed foods and rituals that help your body naturally wind down, boost melatonin, and stay asleep longer, all while helping you live better and potentially live longer. Let's start with what you eat. Because yes, food can either be your sleep's best friend or its biggest enemy. So what should seniors eat in the evening to sleep better? Believe it or not, one of the most powerful sleep-promoting foods is something simple: kiwi. Yes, that fuzzy little green fruit. Studies have shown that eating 2 kiwis about 1 hour before bed can significantly improve sleep onset, duration, and efficiency, especially in older adults. Why? Kiwis are rich in serotonin, a brain chemical that helps regulate your sleep cycle. They also contain antioxidants and folate, which support neurological health. And here's another sleep-boosting combo: a handful of almonds and a small banana. Almonds provide magnesium, a mineral that helps relax muscles and calm the nervous system. Bananas, on the other hand, contain potassium and natural sugars that stimulate the body's ability to produce melatonin. That's right, no sleeping pill needed. It's nature doing its job now. Timing matters. Aim to eat your sleep-friendly snack about 1 hour before bed. That gives your body time to digest and let those nutrients start doing their work in your system. And while we're on the subject of food, here's what not to eat late at night: heavy, spicy meals, chocolate, caffeine after 2 p.m., sugary desserts. These can all stimulate your body or spike blood sugar levels at the exact time your system should be slowing down. Now, let's talk rituals. Because seniors who sleep well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond usually have one thing in common: a wind-down routine. Think of it like telling your body, hey, we're done for the day. It's time to relax. The ritual doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be consistent. Try this. Dim the lights 1 hour before bed. Turn off screens, TV, phone, Tablets. Sip a warm, non-caffeinated drink like chamomile tea or warm milk with turmeric. Do light stretching or slow breathing. And finally, read something calming or listen to soft instrumental music. This quiet routine helps train your brain to recognize it's bedtime. Over time, your body begins to respond automatically. Another powerful sleep enhancer for seniors. Keeping a gratitude journal. Just take 2 to 3 minutes to write down 3 things that made you smile today. Science has shown that gratitude reduces stress hormones like cortisol and boosts relaxation. It also helps you avoid taking worries to bed, which is one of the biggest sleep killers for older adults. And here's something unusual, but backed by sleep science. Soaking your feet in warm water for 10 to 15 minutes before bed. It's simple, feels amazing, and it works. Warming the feet increases blood flow and signals your brain to start releasing melatonin. In studies, seniors who did nightly foot soaks fell asleep faster and stayed asleep longer. Now let's talk about the bedroom itself. If your room isn't set up for deep sleep, even the best bedtime routine won't be enough. Here are the non-negotiables for senior-friendly sleep spaces. Darkness. Your room should be as dark as a cave. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask. Cool temperature, Y-67 degrees Fahrenheit, P-19 degrees Celsius. It's the ideal range for sleep. Silence or white noise. Silence is best. But if that's not possible, use a fan or sound machine to block disruptive noises. Comfortable. Mattress and pillows. Many seniors use the same old mattress for 15+ years. If yours sags or gives you back pain, it's time for an upgrade. Safety. Make sure you can walk to and from bed easily. Remove tripping hazards and install a soft nightlight if needed. One more trick that often gets overlooked: exposure to morning sunlight. Why? Because your brain relies on natural light in the morning to reset its circadian clock, your internal sleep-wake timer. If you don't get outside until the afternoon, your body might not start producing melatonin until very late at night, making it harder to fall asleep. So even 15 minutes of morning sun, your face, arms, or hands can dramatically help. Now here's the big picture. You don't need to be perfect with all of this. You don't need to do every sleep tip every single night. But what you do need is consistency. Find 2 to 3 sleep-friendly habits that fit into your lifestyle. Stick with them, because when your sleep improves, everything improves. Your memory sharpens. Your balance steads. Your heart rate lowers. Your risk of falls, strokes, and memory loss goes down. And yes, according to research, seniors who sleep between 7 and 8 hours per night consistently live longer than those who don't. Not too little, not too much, just right. So here's your new mantra. I deserve deep, healing sleep, and I'm worth the effort it takes to get it. You're not chasing youth. You're building strength for the next chapter of your life, and it starts every night when you close your eyes. Sweet dreams.